fact that that's what this game does. It gives you guys a shared experience. It brings people together. It gives you things that you can talk about, that you can experience together, like a, a creative experience. And you can't replicate that in a lot of places. I don't think I've played a lot of online games, and yes, it's fun, really fun to play online games with people, but you're reacting. You're not creating, and that's what I really love about this game. That's why I enjoy playing it. That's why I enjoy creating for people. So I'm gonna leave you guys with one DM tip for tonight. So what I want you guys to remember, if anybody has any aspirations for being a dungeon master, being a game master, I don't like that term, but if anybody has any aspirations for it, I want you to remember this. When you create your world, leave so much room for your players to fill it. And what I mean by that is, don't create every aspect of your world down to the nth degree that they're playing your story. Your backstory, you want to create that's fine, the backstory of the big bad guy. But in all honesty, I would even say leave room within his backstory for the players to fill it in. Because I've had times where players have been running through a campaign that I've created, and they've come across a bad guy, and they've made connections that I never thought of. So, like, they've come across a gravedigger, and the gravedigger, I've described him in the same way I've described the big bad. And in their conversations with other players, they said, I think that gravedigger is a relative to the big bad. And in all actuality, in my backstory that I've created, that gravedigger is a rando. That gravedigger has nothing to do with the story at all. He's just there. But then when a player says, that gravedigger is related, I think he's related to the big bad, it gets my mind wondering, like, oh, maybe he could be. And that's not cheating. What that is that's shared creativity. And with the players not even knowing it, the players have the option to influence the world. If you don't set everything in stone, if you're not so rigid with your story, and you're able to be flexible, and you let your world breathe, like a fine wine, you gotta have room for your players to influence the story. And you gotta not be so rigid with the world that you create that you say, this is the way it is, and the players have no input. They have to run through the story that I set for them. So whatever you do, the number one rule that I want you to follow is, do not be rigid. Be flexible. Allow your story to change as your players come up with better ideas, because I can tell you that 4 heads are going to be better than 1, and there's going to be times where players can come up with things that you didn't even think of that you're going to love and you're going to want to steal. And you're going to steal it, and you're going to use it, and you're going to create something better than you could have if you thought of the whole thing on your own. So just please, whatever you do, don't be rigid, and don't sacrifice a good gaming experience for the my precious story syndrome. Don't put the story that you want to tell above the story that the people at your table want to have together. Be malleable. Be able to think on the fly and adjust your story. And I promise you, everybody at the table, even though they don't know that that's what happened, they're going to be grateful for it, and they're going to have a better time, and everybody's going to have a chance to have a wow experience at the table. And you guys, it's going to lead to a lot better experiences and a lot better memories. So I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna sign off.